Rooted in Love Urban Homestead. Thanks for hanging out with me a bit as we make fire cider today. So cold and flu season is just around the corner, so we're going to be proactive and go ahead and make some fire cider. Now you may not be familiar with fire cider, but fire cider has been used a long time to help aid when you have a cold or a sinus infection or any other kind of infection. Once you feel that cold with mucus or cough coming on, you just don't feel well, go ahead and take a shot of fire cider a few times a day, and that will help you ease those symptoms. So here are the ingredients that we need for our fire cider. So we're going to add ginger root, and the reason we're adding ginger root is because it is heat, it is good digestive aid, it gets the blood flowing, it's just a great immune booster. It also helps with nausea. Then ideally we would use fresh horseradish root, but I do not have any of that around where I am right now, so I'm going to have to use a prepared horseradish. But if you do, just make sure that it has very little ingredients in the prepared horseradish. This one just has vinegar. The next thing we're going to put in is some jalapenos, which also help with heat and circulation. Then we're going to add garlic, which is an immune system booster. It also helps the blood flow. It's heart healthy. And we're going to add an onion, which is a great antioxidant. It helps with respiratory infections and bladder infections. It is just a wonderful root vegetable. Then for vitamin C, we're going to add oranges and lemons. And then we're going to add a couple of herbs. We're going to add rosemary, fresh rosemary, and fresh thyme. Now I'm growing the thyme in my garden so I could clip that fresh, but the rosemary I have growing in my garden is not quite ready yet, so I just bought those at the grocery store. Then we're going to use apple cider vinegar, and it needs to be the raw apple cider vinegar that has the mother in it, and then we're going to use raw honey. Now that we know what our ingredients are, we need to chop all of our ingredients very well. Okay, so I have chopped up all of my root vegetables. I only used a half an onion. I'm using a half-gallon mason jar. So the first step is filling up our mason jar. Now I'm going to put the herbs in first because they're kind of long and I want to make sure they all reach down. Again, that's rosemary and that's thyme. And then I'm going to put, just kind of layer, put some onion, put some oranges, some lemons, some garlic, some jalapeno, and just layer it up until all of your ingredients are in the jar. This smells really good. And you can push it down, it's not going to hurt anything. Push them down. Good ingredients in there. Okay, so there you see the jar is now layered with our ingredients. Now, because remember I said I didn't have horseradish root, I have this prepared horseradish, so I'm just going to put it on top and kind of stir it around in there. I'm going to do, I think, 3 kind of heaping teaspoons. horseradish root. And again, remember, if you have to use jarred like I have to, then make sure that whatever jarred prepared horseradish you use has minimal ingredients in it. Like I said, this is vinegar and horseradish root with salt and some water, but things aren't going to affect the potency of the fire cider. So once we've gotten all of our ingredients in there, we want to take our raw apple cider vinegar, and it needs to have the mother in it down there, and you're just going to pour it over. I'm going to use all that. There we go. 32 ounces in a half-gallon jar. And I'm going to, just because, and I'm going to just kind of stir that around a little bit, make sure everything is covered. Now, I'm not concerned about the fact that I have some vegetables poking out of the top of the vinegar because I'm going to pour honey over it. Now, some people don't use honey, and I'm going to pour it up just right there. I'm not going to pour it any higher because I do not want my vinegar to touch the lid. So some people don't put honey in theirs. That's fine. You can do it without honey if you don't have any. I like to use honey because honey helps extract the water-soluble properties of the vegetables and the fruit. So I go ahead and put my honey in during the making process. Some people just put it in after. Either way is fine. So then what you want to do is you want to take your lid and you want to go ahead and put it on there, and you want to date your jar. And then what you're going to do is put this in a cabinet for 4 weeks in a dark cabinet. You need to shake it or stir it. I'm going to stir mine. So this is just a basic fire cider recipe. You can put all kind of things in your fire cider. Some people like to put cranberries. Some people like to put elderberries. Whatever you want to put in your fire cider is fine. But this is, like I said, this is just a basic recipe. Once your jar of fire cider has sat in the cupboard for 4 weeks, you're going to want to take it out and you're going to want to strain it, reserving the liquid. Then you're going to want to put that liquid in another jar with a lid, an airtight lid, and you can keep it on the counter, in a cupboard. Some people keep theirs in the refrigerator. It'll be good probably up to at least a year. Again, when you're feeling that first bit of scratchy throat, feeling a little sinus congestion, take a shot of fire cider a couple of times a day, and it will help get rid of those symptoms. Well, I hope you've enjoyed making fire cider, and I can't wait to hear about how your fire cider turns out. Please be sure to comment below and subscribe, and just let me know how your fire cider is coming along. Until next time, may all you do be rooted in love.